please unpack it for us?
Yes.
Because we know the word and then we move on.
Yes.
So what is it? What does it mean?
The African calendar is very important for us. This is the calendar that we used before we were colonized, by these Westerners. All along, we've been using a calendar that is based on the Northern Hemisphere. Meaning ukuthi siloko siguqa nalabantu ngesikhathi la kungamelanga siguqe nabo. Meaning ukuthi mesenza lama festivities afana ne-Christmas ne-Easter, you are then assisting amadlozi abelungu.
What do you guys mean when you say stone calendar? How do you know it's a calendar?
That is why siloko sithandaza sithi hey uNkulunkulu akasizwa umveli nqangi. Kanti siguqa ngesikhathi esi-wrong. When we're supposed to kneel here on the Southern Hemisphere, like in New Year yet. In New Year yet, it's on the 23rd of September.
I'm back on the channel. Today we have MKHULU NSINGIZA explaining the African calendar and the concept behind the African calendar and why use the African calendar. If you are new in the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go.
Igama MKHULU NSINGIZA, founder of a great empire of Kemet.
Yini inzalo yelanga?
Inzalo yelanga umazisikazi. It's those, a huge stone calendar, a formation that is there in Mpumalanga. There's a place called Kapse Whoop.
Yes.
Lapha ngasengodwana. Meaning ukuthi is the oldest stone calendar in the world. It's older than Stonehenge. We should.
What do you guys mean when you say stone calendar? How do you know it's a calendar?
It's a calendar because it marks the equinoxes as well as the solstices. How does it happen? On the spring equinox, the sun creates a shade in one of those stones, right? So that then becomes a marker for the spring equinox. Then for the summer solstice, one of those stones are also a marker. Okhokho bethu knew ukuthi when it is summer solstice, the sun will hit on the eastern marker. But now the other important factor is that inzalo yelanga, it's along what is called the golden meridian. The golden meridian is the electromagnetic field of Earth. So it passes there, from Elenduza Eplaf in Durban. We were there, 2 weeks ago, doing a ceremony there, right at the root chakra of Earth. Where this electromagnetic field begins. Then it passes inzalo yelanga, then it goes and hits.
So you're saying the earth, like human beings, has got chakras?
Yes, certainly. So that in Bluff, it's a chakra of Earth, not of Africa. Meaning Guti is the southern point of, our Earth. So the energy moved from south to north. So that electromagnetic energy moved from south kon lape Bluff at Durban, Ioshayale at the Great Pyramid of Giza.
But you mustn't talk to us like we understand you. Because we're speaking like we're professionals.
Yes.
Now we need to understand what you mean when you say energy and the meridians.
Yes.
And the solstices and these big words you're using.
Yes.
You need to unpack that for us.
Okay. The electromagnetic field.
Yes.
It's a combination of the energy from the sun and the energy from the moon. They combine here on Earth. So everything that lives on Earth has this electromagnetic, field. So when we talk about this thing, but these are just simple things. Umoya welanga, no moya wenyang. That makes everything live and, animate here on Earth. So
song is now.
Ney'tshalo, ney'lwane, everything iphiliswa, yile electromagnetic field.
So the different phases of the moon, does that mean the electromagnetic field in our bodies changes
Yes.
according to where the moon phases are?
No, certainly. Remember, Guti, the moon reflects the energy of the sun, and that affects the electromagnetic field. Because during new moon, then the first crescent happened, until a full moon,
Yes.
when the energy of, the sun is fully reflected upon the moon. Meaning, Guti, inyanga plays a very important role when it comes, to the energy of the sun. Because if there was no moon, we will burn. There won't be anything that left. The energy of the sun will burn everything. So the moon, yes, the moon is the controller. The sun gives out energy, the moon controls the energy, how much we get here on earth. And the moon controls everything. Yingakho kuthiwa, in the African sense and context, you don't go to the father through the son, you go through the mother. Do you understand? Meaning ukuthi the moon controls everything. So thina mesimele sikhulume nomvelinqangi uqamatha, we go through untu, or we go through nomkhubulwane, asikhulumele nomvelinqangi. So that is the order of our universe. So abelungu baze ngokuthi you go to the father through the son. There could never be a son without the mother. So that speaks also to Trinity yethu, African
So
Trinity.
the sun, they actually speak about the sun, not the male sun.
No. The sun ilanga leli, umvelinqangi. Because what Westerners did, they then personified, a cosmic, body. By replace manje ngokuthi banikeze a human figure, so that we are able to bow down to this human figure. And we're not supposed to do that. Nobody can equate the sun. That is why we need to connect our people back to nature, back to the sun and the moon. Because the consciousness here is no longer there. Sithunjiwe. We are sisontiwe kahle kahle.
This is a lot of information.
Remember, Guti, African spirituality, it's nature-centered. Meaning, Guti, the foundation or the basis of African spirituality is the African calendar. Once you understand the African calendar, you also understand the African creation story. You are then able to then connect back to in nature, in Velo.
Please, can you break down the African calendar for us? I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes.
Okay.
We've been waiting for you.
Yes. The African calendar is very important for us. This is the calendar that we used before we were colonized, by these Westerners. All along, we've been using a calendar that is based on the Northern Hemisphere. Meaning ukuthi siloko siguqa nalabantu ngesikhathi la kungamelanga siguqe nabo. Meaning ukuthi mesenza lama festivities afana neChristmas neEaster, you are then assisting amadlozi abelungu. You are giving them strength and power to continue, and dominate us. And when it comes to remember ukuthi, there's the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay.
We are on the Southern Hemisphere.
Yes.
We're not supposed to be using a calendar that is based on the Northern Hemisphere.
The climate and the seasons are different.
They are different. When it's summer here, it is winter that side. So, Tina, when we took all over the continent, there's no country that is aligned with the energy flow of the continent, because all these presidents have been adopted, a Western, calendar and imposed it upon the majority of African people. That is why siloko sithandaza sithi hey uNkulunkulu akasizwa umvelinqangi, kanti siguqa ngesikhathi esi-wrong, when we're supposed to kneel here on the Southern Hemisphere, like in New Year yethu. In New Year yethu, it's on the 23rd of September. What does it mean? In terms of science, that is the day of the spring equinox. meaning ukuthi that is when the earth energies reach equilibrium. Yingakho kuthiwa is the equinox, meaning ukuthi day and night are equal on that day. So that from that day, kuqala ilentuza ispring ngapha on the southern hemisphere, so we're getting more light and less night. Okwamanje kudominate the night. Why? Because the sun is in the northern hemisphere. It will come back on the southern hemisphere. That journey, ifika on the 21st of September. The sun officially leaves the northern hemisphere, and it takes 3 days for the sun to transit, through the line of the equator, the imaginary line of the equator. So the 21st, the 22nd, 23rd, it makes 1 degree southwards, which then signifies a new cycle for the southern hemisphere. So calendar lentuza that we reintroduced, it is based on inzalo yelanga, because inzalo yelanga marks the solstices and the equinoxes.
Yes, that was MKHULU NSINGIZA. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go.